Okay, here we go. I am here. Uh, Everyone, this will be the last PyHealth casual chat before basically the end of the year. And essentially, we're gonna have right before the holiday season. Honestly, there's not really that much of an agenda today. We have a new nice PyHealth release with a huge memory overhaul, and this makes it a lot more accessible overall with some of if you're using a consumer device, if you have a desktop at home, this is pretty great for essentially um, doing predictive modeling on data sets that are way larger than memory. And so the cool part is if you have a GPU, if you have a gaming laptop, if you have a gaming desktop, or you just have a MacBook that has like a Pro or Max chip, you can finally use Mimic 4, and you can finally use Mimic 4 specifically with the lab events, which is a massive table of just events. Um, and this is a really big deal because uh, for the longest time, people just couldn't work on anything other than just structured ICD codes, which are pretty, I mean, it's a very important subject, but it's not a very interesting one in that case. A lot of the times you do want some form of multimodality, and that can be very powerful. Um, so all right, I guess we can wait for some people to show up. Otherwise, I am going to continue to work on the side with some things. Yeah, let's think about this. I had it on the other machine, but we can see. Base my Hmm. Docs examples. Delete this. Um, Oh, hey, Youngda.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty
You,
good.
yeah, you've been working really hard recently. This is kind of kind of a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm actually really excited that we got this memory thing out right before break. Uh,
Okay.
I think I think hopefully we'll get more people like playing with it and like testing it. Um,
We definitely need more people to use it because I do expect there are some small bugs here and there we didn't catch.
yeah. I'm hoping my advisor will wake up in Japan and like repost this. I also sent out like a mailing list. I think
Yeah.
let's see, I think there was like 70 emails or something in there as well. So hopefully people are not this email. Hopefully people are let's see. Whoever these people are, I guess, like they're from various institutions. Basically, hopefully these people are willing to like try it out, play around with it. First name doctor. That's kind of funny. And so we have a lot of people who are really interested in clinical predictive modeling and EHR systems. And so I think these people are probably the most, like these guys are the most relevant, although we have a decent number of other like knowledge graphs and medical imaging people. Um, but yeah, so I think it's really exciting. I think it'd be really I have tested on all the tutorials that we have, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
so all the tutorials work. I think that's how I found the time series bug. Um, which we fixed, which is good. And like I'm pretty sure because it works with the like chest X-ray classification, it should work with all the biosignals as well because they're fundamentally the same style of data loading, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so like all these still run. You can still train a model. You can still do a bunch of nice things with it. And so, no, I think we should be. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know, like like how many people will actually respond, but yeah, it'd be good to try these things out. I will say, actually, what's interesting is I think technically the if you run it locally, it does take a little bit of time, so people will have to run it overnight. Like instead of I think it takes like 10 hours on my desktop. So like this
Yeah,
is it makes sense that if you had a bigger machine, it's way faster, but it's still way faster than like just using pandas or something like that, which is good. Like pandas takes 26 hours, and I think now you can't even run it on the workstation. So it's like or like a desktop. So that's really nice. Um, uh, yeah, I guess why does this keep happening? Okay. Uh, On the other side of things, I finally got Vipin's code for the DKA task. It's a little bit messier than expected, but um, the cool part is it's written and it's there. Like all the lab events and lab tables and things are here. And so I think I should have a PR by like hopefully tonight. I do have to drive tomorrow, but hopefully I'll have something that people that like the rest of the BMS people can start working with.
yeah,
Because yeah, this is actually a clinically relevant task where specifically the main thing, the main interpretation is these lab events. So if you, there are certain glucose levels where if it's like too high or too low, you definitely have DKA. It's like the peaks and the lows, I guess, basically.
I
Um,
see.
and so the goal would be if you see like if you visualize it, so maybe we could like write a visualization notebook or something, and then for the attributions, if you see like in a visit, like and then the next visit, like there's like a big gap, then you kind of have like a um then you can have like you might have a clinically relevant feature here. So that's really important. I think the challenge here also is whether or not this would actually I don't know what does he put codes in here? Okay, so there are like that there is like diagnoses times and diagnosis sequences, and there's like this this might be interesting. So basically, there are still codes, I believe. Sequences. Yeah, still codes. Um, and so that's this is something I think really be really interesting to look at.
Uh,
Um,
is this still stage 9?
Yeah, still StageNet, still StageNet,
Yeah,
still. I saw your attention StageNet. We'll definitely use that. I think
yeah,
I actually, I think I think the bottleneck is me right now. I just haven't like have the time to like put this in. But I think the good part is we should be able to like this should be really easy now. Like it should be easy. Um, I think the one baseline I really hope Naveen is still alive. I don't know if I can email him at some point. Which is it'd be really good to get Shap in the mix because the it's actually really interesting talking about some of this with another interpretability researcher. I'm totally violating his privacy. But basically there's something so when you're using Shap because it's an approximation and the approximation itself is still really expensive. So it's like if you have a lot of features, um, not to mention I think there's I also I'm updating the metrics. So this guy actually writes a lot of see, okay, where is his? It's kind of funny. I follow this guy a lot just because I think I actually really like his the way he does interpretability research. It's much more practical because he does work at like a healthcare company in Denmark.
yeah.
And so basically I might have to also update the metrics that we use. So you can have two potentially highly faithful model, right? like F3, F4, F1, F2, and they could have like the inverse of metrics in comprehensiveness and sufficiency. And
Mhm.
I think the long story short of it was that um, let's see, that was Brisbane Park. There's two non-linear between. I'm trying to find the despite the attribute perfect, the conversation because it relies on fewer feature input features than F1. So like there's something with like the number of features that you highlight, if that makes any sense. That affects it. I don't really know what the normalization he does, but I have to dig down deeper a little bit here. But the idea is oh okay, so I guess this is the ground truth. Like these are the ground truth attributions. Or they're heavy more on features. Both models outputs and stuff that we can calculate. Um, but basically, he comes up with a really cool way of more faithfully approximating with some like toy models what like a better way of benchmarking these interpretability methods. So you can kind of this paper I've not read in detail, but it's really interesting to me because I've always been um, that there's this field is such a like wacky field, if that makes any sense. Like people, I think companies like BMS really they're really interested in this stuff, but I feel like the interpretation is much more of like a loose justification instead of like can we actually is it true like a true justification like type of thing. And I think it'd be really interesting to go through this. Ooh. Um, On the yeah, I don't know. This is really cool. Like this is really amazing, I think. It's like I didn't realize how many lab events we were actually filtering until I looked at it. Um on the PyHealth agent side of things, I'm still actively working on it. I still need to get like an API key from one of my lab mates who runs the like our Azure API key access. And it's going to take a little while, but the but I think the idea is really interesting. I think the baselines are there. I am worried about the number of tasks that we have to do. I might talk to Zifeng later about like reducing it for now. Because it's because every data set and task has like three models, right? And or even more
Yeah.
potentially. And this is just very like it could be really messy and time consuming. And understandably, like, I don't know, let's just go to the graph care paper. Um, like this paper. Like this guy, so my lab mate did a lot of results here, but I don't I guess he did do a lot of this. That's what is that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a 20 times 9 table. So like there's like 180 experiments here. I
Mm.
think,
A lot.
or sorry,
Yeah.
no, four. So wait, no, four times there's two. Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry, maybe I don't know 180. That's actually I think 50, maybe around 50. So two, these are four. So four time, so four each four columns. So two, six. Okay, so yeah, that's actually still a lot. That's still maybe around 40 or 50 experiments. And then if you have the amount of models, um, I still think, I mean, I think it's probably good that we do different data sets, but I don't know. I might skip this task, and we just focus on like the three that we're interested in for now. Um, so I think
Oh yeah.
the
And also, like in the share folder, I see there's a MP and MPH. What's the difference between the two?
oh one of them uses lab events, the other one doesn't, and I was experimenting
Okay.
if the lab events would give better, more interesting, like because if all clinical predictive models, regardless of architecture, only give you like a 4% AUPRC. Uh, it's hard to show
Yeah.
meaningful change at like a zero point 0.1 level. So I was like, okay, maybe we need a better benchmark. Um,
Yeah.
I think Mimic 3, like it might be worth going to a smaller data set. I feel like Mimic 3 might be smarter because then you could like run things much quicker. And so that could be something we do instead of working on Mimic 4, which although is the bigger, more impressive one, it might be worth going down to Mimic 3. Because you can train much quicker and um I think in terms of that, this also brings me to the other thing I think we might have to do, and this is something I've been thinking about. I like to talk to Claude a lot. I don't know if that's a good practice or not, but hierarchical task construction yeah, from process super tasks. So you know how we have the very big so basically we have like we cache the task entirely now. So the entire task is basically cached.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think there are a couple of challenges here, but the good part is if there is like really task cache, there are some thoughts I had around it, which was one is that um, technically for even the same type of data, we can have different types of processors. And so that changing how you do the feature engineering side of the thing
Yeah.
without rerunning the entire cache would be really, really helpful. And then another thing is just taking subsets of features. And so I was thinking about like building this idea of like whether it's like a derived sample data set or something of that sort, right? Like you can kind of so if I have like a mimic for super mortality prediction task, right?
Yeah.
And it has like every single lab event, it has like all the literally like all the a huge range of like 128 features. I think in if we go to this paper, uh, they had some like you go to the appendix, 77 papers. That's a lot of details. Um, yeah, if you look at like this guy, this paper which was exploring LLMs for feature selection, like they have like 100 and like 4 pages of just features. And so one of the things I was thinking of was it'd be really I mean, I think from a just a practical perspective, if you are like a data scientist, it's really helpful to be able to just we don't have to cache again. We just get to explore what we already have cached and then just quickly iterate through something. So like maybe I don't know. I don't know if a derived task implementation would make sense here, but this is what something I was thinking about. Like
I think it makes sense. We actually cache the intermediate result just in the template folder and we throw away after that. So if
hmm,
we like instead of put them in a temporary folder, we put it in somewhere permanent, then I think we can actually have this like derived stuff.
okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we can kind of like maybe add option to store intermediate uh I guess that would be in base data set, right? And like a set
Set the yeah set
task, yeah.
task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um I think this would be yeah, this would save a lot of just compute time. Um
Yeah.
and
I think
then
right now the
yeah.
most expensive one is the task transformation, right?
Yes. But with the extra workers, I think that has been sped up a decent amount. Uh
Yeah, because the task transformation is still single threaded. I haven't updated yet.
yeah, it's this part right here. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
This one takes if it's like yeah, if it's like 4 hour total, like the majority of the runtime is this. Um yeah, just this task construction. Um but the good part is I think like now we have something that's very like the moment it's constructed, you don't have to do it again. So it's very like we can just keep saving copies, which is nice.
yeah.
And then I think yeah. I will say it's yeah it is really cool seeing this. Yeah, yeah, thank you, Yangda, for putting all this time in because this is like kind of amazing. Like the I think it actually you know what's funny is if you go to the benchmark pandas, like this is what PyHealth used to do, like the PyHealth 1.6 version or something. It
Yeah.
would it would it would take what is that? 20, I think that's 26 hours right there. I've been benchmarking in seconds to to do the same task. And then you would have to, if you wanted to do it again, right? To load it would cache everything in pickle files. So the pickle file was like a terabyte in size or something. And then like and then it was just so bad. It was very uh yeah, it was just um
Yeah, I don't think people has any compression on that, so it's normal to see.
yeah, it was well it was the problem was like yeah, it wasn't just like it's not only just like the compression aspect, but also the fact that like loading a pickle file is like super slow. At least back
Yeah.
when 3.10, like the days Python 3.10. And so it was just like it's like so not only did you cache like waste disk space, it's like using the cache didn't actually help you because it would take like several hours to like load the cache to do anything. Um, so yeah. And then I think that's probably why a lot of the like nobody in the lab used it. But now like I don't know. Now I still can't get people in the lab to use it. So it's just um
Well, if you want to put out some basic instructions for just setting up some simple samples, and we can do some more benchmarking on smaller machines and stuff, and add that to the example list, I think that would be very helpful.
oh yeah, no, I think I guess in that case
So I think that
like
would be something I would be able to help with a little bit too.
yeah. Actually that's a really good idea. I mean let me write this down in a document and then I can create and share helpful test cases to run locally. So we have a
Because then you can
couple,
sell it too.
yeah,
Yes.
we have a couple like benchmark performance scripts. I think these are kind of relevance.
Oh yeah, or the mem has one in the benchmark, or remember to put a min guard there. Not this one. The
Oh, this one, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I think this one should have a main guard. Yes, okay. Um, yeah. I think the so th this one's actually a really good, nice one. This was actually when I was running locally on my desktop. So this is I think the other ones like let's look at some standard ones like drug recommendation. Um, I think this one's actually a pretty good one. It's like a decently small model too. Uh, recommendation. Uh, the main thing though is you'll have to download Mimic 4. So like if you didn't already have that downloaded, that'll take like a day to download. It's kind of and then there's like nothing we can do about it because it's just their servers are pretty slow. Like they don't have high
Oh,
bandwidth
Hmm.
servers. Um
yeah, their server is super slow.
yeah. I think they're just they're very cheap. I think is what
Well, they're presumably also open source and not paid nearly enough for what they're doing, sort of thing. So,
I think PhysioNet is, yeah, I don't actually know how PhysioNet is funded. I know this is by MIT, so it's like,
oh, I mean,
uh,
it's academia, so
yeah.
So
do they have the grants for that, right?
I think
Yes, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
it,
Oh, yeah.
it's always consistently 300 kilobytes per second.
And how long is or how big is the download on the far end?
It's like 9 gigs in compressed format.
Well, that's not too
So
bad.
yeah, if we look at like, it's just the fact that you're downloading it at like 500 kilobytes a second. You know,
Oh
like
gosh, that's
like
terrible.
yeah, like
Because I
that's
was
why
gonna
you get
say
stuff in
I've had
there.
game updates that
Look,
size that take less than half an hour to update and install.
I wish we had like a
Pretty
Steam for
salty.
healthcare data sets. I agree.
There's a
like
there's a company idea, right?
yeah, it's between like 300 to 500 kilobytes per second. So it would take about half to 1 day to download it.
Yeah, it's not good. I guess they have
And to
a Google API cloud thing that runs technically f faster, but it's I don't know. It's more of a pain to set up than just their download button. Um,
Got it.
yeah. Also, if you ever try to download this database, it's 4.6 terabytes.
Total
Uh,
uncompressed. I do not have a hard drive for that.
I know. But if you ever want to do X-ray imaging on a large scale, just know
Get some space.
I don't think you can do this with their you actually have to like go through their Google whatever thing. And it's kind of a pain. But actually they have a oh wait, no, they have a smaller one. Hold on. They have the one that people should download if they are doing research, it's this one, the JPEG version that's more compressed, but it's still like 500 gigs. Uh, yeah, these things are kind of problematic and to some degree. Um, what was I gonna say? So yeah, so if let me add the download instructions. Instructions.
Yeah, I really hope one day they can move all the CS3 to Parquet file. That would be compressed a lot.
I don't know if they have like a mimic for Parquet. That's a good question.
I mean,
They do not.
can you
They do
not
not.
directly download to Drive or something? I mean, I
Uh,
have used this, and what I did was use Collab and directly download to my Google Drive actually.
oh, like Mimic?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. How fast is it? Do you know?
Took me around 20 minutes, I think.
Okay, that's a lot better. Like that's that's
I
not
mean,
the
also that could be a workaround because if you download it to your Google Drive and then you can just download it from the Google Drive, that's probably faster.
yeah, yeah, that would
Yeah.
definitely I mean that'd be hilarious. That's a hilarious workaround, but it's I don't know. That's
If it works, right?
Just be
who
sure to remove it after that because your drive it's a bit like risky to keep it in drive and forget about it there.
I think the
That's fair.
PhysioNet. I remember talking to the PhysioNet guys. They were like one time like all of Mimic got leaked on some GitHub repository or something, and then like I think the consensus was they weren't going to press charges because it was too much effort from like the PhysioNet people. But yeah, don't test them. I don't want to have we don't want to have trouble. But yeah, it is kind of. I don't know. I will say it is funny like how many versions of Mimic 4 are out there. Like people trying to make it more accessible.
Mm. I mean, admirable goals, but
Yeah, the easiest one would
at
just
least if
be
that's
yeah. Um sorry, wait. Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, the easiest one would just be increasing download speeds. Yeah. Um License instructions. I guess Andrea, I should probably ask like you were working on I believe LRP a while ago, right? How's that going?
yeah, I still it's coming along, but I had to put it down because holidays. I'm actually hoping that next week I'll actually have some time where I'm not actually working and don't have anything better to do. So I'm actually gonna try to get a pull request out over the holidays and we'll see where that ends up because I have the changes, but Claude loves to over
Mm,
engineer things, so I'm not going to torture anyone with the way over engineered solution. So I'm working on cutting it down to just the essentials to get the LRP working. And I
mm.
need to add one more example and a little bit more testing. So it's pretty close, but
Yeah, no worries, no
got
worries.
delayed because of
Yeah,
IRL
yeah,
stuff.
I no, I get it. I understand. Like I think no, I mean you should definitely take a break. Like everyone should take a break over the holidays. It's not like this is but it is I don't know, it's really cool that we're able to get more of the interpretability modules fleshed out. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, my
Um
personal and just for transparency, my personal goal is to finish out and get a decent LRP solution available that covers a couple of the LRP variants because there's a lot of variants on that particular one, and I still have a solution for
mm,
GradCam I want to put in as well. So those are sort of the two that I have on my radar of like, here's the next two
don't
things I'll work on, and I'll
yeah,
keep you posted on all that.
sure. Just like definitely don't like overcomplicate it thinking you need to support like everything. It's okay to make a couple assumptions like, oh, like the model needs to give you access to like the embedding layer or things like that. Because I don't think there are just certain things that you can't really like it doesn't make sense to do because there's just too many variations like out there, if that makes any sense. And um
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
I think you cited a paper, so I was using that as a like you had I think in the
Oh yeah.
Google Forms you had cited a paper, so I was just going to do the versions that they mentioned in the paper.
Okay.
So it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like alpha
yeah.
beta and epsilon, LRP, something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
yeah. Yeah,
That
yeah,
seemed
yeah.
that seemed a good place to start.
Just I think it's just good to have like just a generic like oh this is deep lift just a generic baseline. I think it's not like it's not necessary like for example SHAP has like 20 variants now and it's just not
We
but
don't
like
need all
the
20 variants. Yeah.
yeah and actually I think most people only really use like the kernel SHAP. So it's like it's not even like very like that there are like there's like tree based SHAP, there's like I don't know, there's a bunch of things there. Um let's see. Okay, it's probably helpful links. I know I had like a piece of documentation on how to get access to the data sets. Um, I don't know. You guys got any holiday plans? This is just very I don't know.
Oh,
It's
well,
actually
I'm doing it right now, so I'm not currently at home. Greetings, I'm on Central Time right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually it's been really cold in Illinois. I like I don't know. I feel like I should expect
Bouncing.
this.
It was melting last week.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, yeah, but it's like when it's cold, it's really cold. And I have to say this, I think after living here for a couple of years, it's definitely colder than Ohio. Like Ohio, like I thought like in the Midwest, like Ohio is like, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm like I should be used to this. Like I didn't realize Illinois could, like there was a place that could get even colder, and have way more wind. Like it's the wind chill that like that really gets me.
Oh
Um,
yeah, well, I remember that when I was in college too, is that in the southern part of the state, there's like nothing to stop the wind from really picking up. And
yeah.
and Ohio starts getting, especially northern Ohio, but like northern Illinois, it's the same thing. Once you start getting closer to the Great Lakes, it like pushes the wind south. So it's actually less windy in Chicago than it was in Champaign Urbana. Because I remember when I went there for my undergrad, I was there for 4 years,
Oh,
and it's like it's so much windier in Champaign Urbana, and the wind chill just kills you. It's like, oh, well, this actually feels colder than Chicago area, even though effectively the temperature and the systems are essentially the same. I know it's
geez.
the same
Okay.
thing when I go out into Iowa too. So it's the wind kills you. Um, and the lake definitely has a strong impact on how the wind behaves.
Hmm. Okay, that's like interesting to note. I feel like, I mean, I guess Ohio does have hills. Like if you go to Southern Ohio, there's like
That'll
lots of
help
hills.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. No, but it's like weird to me because I feel like I don't know. I thought Chicago was like the Windy City, right? Like that's the nickname or something.
Yeah, but there's like I was talking to someone else recently about that. Like, there's like I've heard a dozen different reasons why it's the Windy City, but I've heard the most popular one is actually because the politicians talk too
Oh.
much.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
hence windy. And it's like, oh, okay, well, it's not always because it
yeah.
there is in theory the literal interpretation,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
but it's
That's
when but if it's the literal interpretation, I would argue
yeah.
that Champaign-Urbana is the windier city
Hmm.
because it was
Yeah.
definitely windier in there.
It is like it's like one of those like I've never experienced cold where it was like I didn't actually ever want to go outside until like I got to Champaign Urbana. Like I didn't realize like in Ohio like like oh it's like it's like a nice cool 32 Fahrenheit and it's and there's like barely any wind so it's kind of like a nice I don't know it's just it's weirdly, how do I say this? It's like it's not cold enough to make me care. Whereas I feel like in Champagne, it gets so cold that like my face hurts. Like it's like it actually burns. Like like it's a weird thing where it's like, oh, like I'm actually on fire, but not because it's like really hot out. It's just that cold. Um, and it's like okay, I can't uh, let's see the guides. Data access guide. I feel like our data access guide could use some work. Okay.
I mean, if you want to make a separate list of areas where because I know we've talked about before, like having the more examples we can offer, the more tutorials. Like if we can get this to the point where the students love using it too, and that sort of thing, and and all that good stuff. Because is the deep learning for healthcare class being offered again next semester or?
Yeah, it is. It is. One of the, I think that's one of the major goals, which is like getting students to build in the framework of PyHealth because I think it helps. It's just a good educational exercise, and I will admit I don't think it's well defined or well explained in the course. Um, and I don't think the homeworks do a good job of like I think we can go through some of them now. I think this is kind of this is definitely something that's like very much just like not enough time. We definitely should be changing this because this is a problem on our end. Which is like our PyHealth homeworks don't really like like we have some readings on PyHealth.tasks. And these things obviously if you're a student in a Coursera course, like you don't care about anything but the programming assignments in the project. So um and the thing is like it's
Yeah,
not
because I
fair.
remember it was only one assignment when I took it that actually made you use PyHealth, and I thought it was really slick. Like I was actually pretty happy with it. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This is pretty slick.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
the
it saved a lot of time. But yeah, it
it,
was that one.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I feel like there isn't much mention in the lecture about telehealth, so that like basically initially I have no idea why I need to do this reading.
Yeah, I think a lot of the curriculum is definitely out of date. Like this is how do I say this? I think that the issue was like there were two problems with this. Like one of them was was just like the infrastructure to upload an auto-graded homework is actually kind of a pain. Like you have to go through Illinois' own private like Docker containerization service and then like I don't know, there's just like a lot of steps in between, and you have to work with some people to like help make it robust enough to be deployed. And then the other side of it was the textbook that is used here is like wildly out of date, and there's a new one that's being written. And so the people in my lab, I think, I mean, it's just it's kind of, I mean, I'm impressed. It's kind of amazing how much work they can do. But they basically a lot of the they want to update the textbook, and then in doing so, they would like update the curriculum. And so a lot of this needs to be like rewritten. And I think one of the main challenges here is like ideally, what we would do is we would have like a PyHealth deep neural networks lecture, right? Instead of just a deep neural networks lecture with some generic Torch homework. Although I do think PyTorch is really important to know, like if you've never worked with it.
There should be, yeah, I wouldn't replace everything with PyHealth. I would still make sure that some of the homework assignments continue to use the PyTorch because understanding the basics and
Yeah.
the default, and not everybody coming into this will have an extremely deep. I mean, it depends on what classes they took. Otherwise, before taking this one, because I think there was a suggested prerequisite.
Yeah, so the way I think it would work would be like it'd be like deep neural networks. You would have like a PyTorch homework along with some generic homework. And then you'd have like a CNN or RNN. That'd be like another PyTorch homework, a PyTorch
Mhm.
like reading or something, right? Like with autoencoders. Like how do you tr it's we don't and I think the thing is like because it's such a huge amount of stuff compressed into one course, we don't really do a good job explaining what each of these things are actually used for. So, like for example, autoencoders, actually a lot of what they were outside of just representation learning and things like that, were used just to like, like how do you do a feature analysis? How do you learn what are the most relevant features? Um, you could kind of think of like deep autoencoders like another form of like a PCA, but with like some level of nonlinearity, attention models. I think off the topic of how people teach graph neural networks, if you ever get the opportunity to take one, they'll use something called torch geometric. Um, and I have seen like a lot of these courses will a lot of their curriculum is built within like a specialized Python package for working with like these graph neural networks. And so it'd be nice like if we could show like okay if you're working with healthcare stuff, right, like PyHealth would be but right now we kind of just yeah, so this is something I can't guarantee next semester will be done in like a complete way because I think this is just a huge endeavor. I think the last curriculum revision, I think one of the PhD students in my lab who's recently graduated, um, God bless his soul, like he spent like a whole semester just like building out like homework assignments and curriculum, and yeah, it's like not an easy task.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody
Yeah,
underestimates how hard it is
yeah.
to do good education.
I have seen our course reviews, so I'm not I'm not unaware of how
I,
like chaotic this
yeah,
course looks.
well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because in full transparency, I remember like when I started the master's program, like I want to take this course because my obviously my husband's healthcare adjacent, so I'm like, okay, well, I should take this course. This seems really relevant, and maybe I can use it for to help him a little bit too. So okay, fine. But then I remember like wanting to take it a couple years ago, and then looking at the reviews, and then being like, maybe I'll let them iterate on this a little bit more and let it
Yeah.
cook.
Yeah, it's still cooking. It's just not medium rare. It's definitely like dry. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah. Um I also think like it's just like
Settles
not
down.
a yeah. It's one of those things where it's like okay, if you are a PhD student, your job is to do research. So like and there's no reward by the way for like good. Like we'll have like a TA award, which is like a nice pat on the back, like thank you. You know, thank you for putting the extra effort in. But there's no reward for like actually uh it's kind of sad to say to like do a good job of like bridging the gap between like the real world applications and then also like teaching fundamentally useful things. And I think I will say this is maybe just to stroke my own ego a little bit. I think PyHealth does a good job of like standardizing just in general how you should be formatting your like your machine learning pipelines for like at least compared to what I've seen in the research code. So like there's a lot of like it's very modular and it's very well defined. And I think honestly for like 95% of like machine learning tasks, like they all follow a very similar format. You know, you do some data type of data loading, you do some type of caching, you do some type of exclusion criteria for the samples that you want to do. You define your model. You have a translation layer between whatever variables you've included, and then you've converted to some tensor format that you're engineering, and then you benchmark it. And of course, there's a lot of frameworks out there like PyTorch Lightning that helps you like with the training part, yada yada. But it's like stuff that I feel like if we were to do a good job of teaching, like you could definitely take the course um and just like work with PyHealth the entire time. But there's just a lot of things that were like in between here and now. I think on that topic, yeah, I don't know. I guess like what would you guys want to see like if you were to take this course again? Um
Um, my suggestion would be release the project info a bit earlier and don't put any PyHealth tutorial until like students see the project info that they need to use PyHealth.
oh okay. Let's take some feedback. Actually, I think I should do it in the TA.
Because especially at the beginning of the course, there's really no emphasis on PyHealth and like students don't pay attention to the thing that have no utility, right?
Yeah. When was the project details released? Do you know? This is definitely a pain point last time I tried managing the course. Um
I don't remember. I think somewhere between the middle, but I don't remember the exact week. Um,
okay.
I mean,
Sure. This is yeah, I think there's do you think it would be helpful to have like I don't know if this is easy to do, but like we have a lot of data science labs just like for students to work with some of the existing tutorials, like
yeah.
the data sets, just like hey, you should at least have ran the notebooks and then also like maybe you can write something, some reflection post or something. It sounds silly, it sounds really dumb, but
Oh, reflection post is most silly thing ever.
yeah, because I think
Yeah.
I would always chat GPT them. I don't know, like maybe I don't
Well,
know, like
it's to put some kind of grade or some kind of like checkbox to say, hey, we know you've done the thing and you've proven you've done the thing. So I agree it's kind of silly and maybe a lot of the reviews I remember being somewhat critical of a lot of tasks that were added to the course to sort of just encourage people to do it. Because I think you're right. There's everybody's a little bit lazy. So if you see something and it's optional, you don't typically look at them. Because I only think I looked at two or three of the PyHealth learnings, and I probably didn't
Mm,
even look at them until MP5, which was the PyHealth one. And I remember looking at them. And then I think I looked at them a little bit when I was working on the paper replication project
yeah,
because
yeah.
you had added like a the PyHealth PR as like a requirement at some point, and it's like, okay, I'll look at them now. But
Yeah,
and
that's also similar. I'm also like in a similar boat. Like didn't pay attention to PyHealth until I see it in the project
Mm,
description.
it
okay,
might
okay.
also be, and maybe another thing that would be good is to emphasize the goals of PyHealth and make sure to make it clear like this is a project we're doing and what's sort of the end result of like trying to make data science and medical data science more accessible to a broader audience and make it much easier to spin up these data science pipelines, and sort of emphasizing that just so it's kind of clear to the students that this isn't just a professor trying to sell their own textbook.
Yeah.
Because that was
Okay.
another critique I heard a little bit is that people felt like the Pi Health was a little bit like the course trying to sell a product that they were
Hmm.
making.
I think
And I
that's
don't think that's really
inevitable.
the
Yeah. No, I
a
mean,
little
but
inevitable, but not the case
yeah.
in this instance either. So it's like it might help with not with people not blowing it off for that reason.
I think the main issue before was like PyHealth was so I guess like hastily put together that it wasn't really like it was never a tool that could actually help people do the work they wanted to do in their projects. And I think now it's like, okay, now we have something that's like actually like it's better to use PyHealth than to not, if that makes any sense. Like if you're gonna um like do an exercise and exploring
Mm-hmm.
healthcare applications. Um but yeah, I think that's fair. I think show what's useful in PyHealth. Don't. Yeah, it's very rigidly, awkwardly make it smoother, integrated into to the course curriculum. Yeah, no, that's a fair critique. I actually, when I took the course, I felt like that was it's funny being a student and then like being the guy who like is now like trying to build the course. Um, that is actually something I also felt too. Like it's just kind of awkwardly there. Should I go use some PyOff, have some examples, show it's I
And
will say like the like when in the final projects, I feel like there is a structured way of like if you have a GitHub repo, right? Like there's always a data folder somewhere, like data processing folder. Like
yeah,
there's always like a model folder or model file, right? Like there's always like an actual run script.py that they run. Like these like all could point to like different PyHealth modules, and I'm wondering if it makes sense for like the because right now we're just asking people to do like a singular pull request, which I think just for our sakes, because now people are like you guys are on board, like you reviewing pull requests. A lot of these pull requests arguably are not of good quality in some ways, but even though it is like part of the course curriculum, um, it would be nice to like have I don't know. I don't know if it would make sense to like increase the amount of like the curriculum related to the quality of the pull request, like for the rubric. Like instead of right now
I
it's like
mean,
worth 10 points, but maybe we do 50 points. Um,
Mm,
you
I don't think that would matter much given like the grading is pretty
it's very
um
lax. Yeah.
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 I
I
mean,
think a more detailed grading rubric would work better. Like
Mm.
you list a list of specification. Like instead of saying like you get the 10 points if you do the pull request, like it becomes like you get 2 point if your pull request include this. If you get another 2 point if you pull request include this, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Like I think no that's the I think that's the fair point. Like I think like the rubric, it would be nice if, and I was also thinking of like reducing. I don't know. I think like increasing the point count, maybe like I don't know, like 50 points or something like this, right? And then it'll be like 2 points for good documentation, just doc strings. It's just like I guess we can do numbers later, but like it would be like
Yeah, yeah. Try not to use like subjective word like good, like make it measurable so people will try to accomplish towards that.
yeah,
Uh,
But
documentation
adding
with
more
sample.
specific elements, I do like that because I feel like it was just, oh, do a pull request. And I'm like, okay, because I had sort of done the whole thing. And then I'm like, oh, I need to do a pull request for this. And it was just finding sort of the minimum viability of it. But I didn't even know, like, did you need unit tests? Was it enough to
Hmm.
do like
Hmm.
a Pi notebook example? Did you want a Pi notebook example or Python example, or like none of that
Right,
was
right, right, right.
defined. And if you also want to put in some curriculum directly about like how to do good pull requests into open source repositories, I think that's just a maybe an off topic but broadly useful thing anyway. So I don't think that's a bad thing to sort of include as part of a side of your curriculum.
Yeah, I think maybe in the project document itself, we should definitely like point out good examples. Like, and the other thing is, I don't want like I'm not saying people should like. I also think it's impossible to fully replicate an entire pipeline, but
Mhm.
in PyHealth, but I do think it's very easy now, especially because like I think in our syllabus, like we actually encourage the use of these generative like modeling tools, or like just ChatGPT in general. But like I think it'd be good if people knew about like, some of the documentation that does exist because we have a lot of really nice examples now where we didn't have before about like what a good pull request looks like. So like this is Eric's pull request, and I actually really like this for like all the documentation, like all the examples, like how do you run it, test cases. Um, I think yeah, I think that's a fair like
Yeah,
intrinsic.
examples are definitely the best way to go
Example.
about it because then people can look and be like, okay, here's all the things that this person has and
Right.
what's considered to be a good example. Let me just do that, and that's a lot easier to explain than just giving like a checklist or something.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Proper inheritance of API, direct examples, showcase for data sets, such models. That's, I think this is definitely doable. This thing I think I can definitely like push this in this direction. I think the grading leniency would still be good. I do want to streamline the process so that as people get more engaged and like people have more time, it would be good to like um yeah, because I eventually, Younger, I think eventually if you don't, like, don't, on the top of pull requests, it'd be good if you just put the labels that you want to keep, like you think are promising, and then I will probably auto close 100 of these pull requests again. I still,
um,
I still need to,
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
I'll try to go through them. So I mean,
don't
uh,
overwork yourself. Like, if you don't care,
yeah,
like, yeah,
I'm not overwork myself. It just I typically just look a few things. One is that if we have like all the
pull.
necessary ingredient. Another thing
Hmm.
is that if it's properly inherit from the PyHealth. Because lots of the pull requests basically just like copy paste whatever PyTorch model.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't take any closer look,
Okay.
even if I label them. It's just a like quick filter for me to because it's easier to just filter
Hmm.
by a label rather than try to find it.
I think this is a crazy idea. I wonder if the automated unit test could do a bunch of like auto grading in some sense here. I don't know if like it's possible that like every time there's a new model or a new data set that somebody makes of a pull request where it like auto detects something like, did you properly inherit like an API like this or did you but that might be like a future thing, like a future CI plus auto grader.
Yeah, I think it would require some additional effort to set up CI like that.
Yeah. Um, I don't, yeah, I don't know if this would be, It's definitely not necessary. I think we'll have enough
Yeah, and
TAs.
another thing is that even like our own in our own repo, there are still bunch of class inherited old one.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I need to go through Josh's pull requests. That's actually kind of important. Um, I think the cool part is like a lot of the bounties have already been like done. They're like finished.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
like we're really close. Like we're really close to actually this is to complete. Yeah, complete these.
Yeah, I think bounty PR are pretty high quality in general, so
Yeah,
easier to review.
yeah. I think we can.
There's there's a little bit of a difference between someone doing something for like a bounty to do something like this because there's not necessarily a class tied to it, and then someone just trying to finish out a class.
Yeah,
So that doesn't surprise me.
I
Yeah,
will say. Sorry, go ahead. I think somebody.
no,
Uh,
I just makes sense.
okay, yeah. It's. I do think that the PyHealth API can be like a good educational exercise for like a final project. And I think doing a good job of it shows that like and this could be completely untrue, like if other people might have other opinions on this. But like being able to properly fit like some ugly repo that like you commonly see out in the wild into like a clean API that shows that you're willing to document these things does show in some sense like okay, you've actually like thought about like what these models are doing and what the inputs and outputs and um how this would actually interface in like another project that you would do yourself if you were somebody trying to replicate somebody's work. Um, I think that's yeah. But you're right. I don't. I think this is like definitely not like a. I think we can definitely iterate on this and make sure like it's less of a chaotic experience as you watch a video. Actually, I just want to look at this. I hope my advisor doesn't watch. I don't think my advisor watches any of the of our meetups, but he has a bunch of videos from like 2016. I don't know. Let's see. I'm just curious. Is it still the same one? Oh, maybe it's updated. Okay. This used to be Georgia Tech. Like they used to be like a Georgia Tech video. Um and then like just
Yeah, I thought the lectures in this were okay, if a little dry, but I tend to find most classes have kind of dry lectures. I guess my only critique on the lecture side is I would always encourage more examples of things getting used in real world applications is always good because it helps. At least I know from my learning perspective, I tend to remember real world applications a lot better than
mhm.
I remember just sort of a dry repetition of death by PowerPoint.
Yeah. I,
That would be something I'd it also has the aha of like, oh, this is how I might actually potentially use it someday.
I think the oh yeah that I mean that would be nice. I do think the hard part is just generally yeah just in general time like this would be a time thing like going over some
Yeah,
of
for sure.
like how these things are actually deployed in real world practice. Like a lot of actually in general a lot of the the modeling side of the things um are pretty commonly like yeah okay I guess we do have some models here Camel. I think the hard part is explaining why like some of these tasks actually matter in the real hospital setting. These are not really well explained. Why we do this specifically. Like this is a huge deal. And in fact, depending on how this is done, your insurance rates could go up or you could get charged like differently at like a hospital visit. It's very like so getting this correctly and justified is really important, which is basically just
Mhm.
taking your visit and then structuring it into like um
The ICD codes, right?
yeah. Like this is used for so many things downstream. I think the like the hard part in general is just like explaining like this nitty-gritty of what this does beyond just like saying like, oh, like this is important for downstream research, blah 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 tasks. It's like no no no, like this actually directly affects how your visits like costs are calculated, how hospital systems around like base and generally just Western nations, how they document and track diseases, how they so like if you had like the spread of some, God forbid, we have like another what's the like a measles outbreak again
Pandemic.
or something. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
well, I
yeah,
mean, we're already
yeah,
having a measles outbreak, so that's the
yeah.
you're a little. I saw that email about everybody getting measles vaccines on
Uh,
campus. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you know it's getting real good, right?
yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, I don't. It's not like it's never a good thing when you need to like carefully analyze these health systems, right? It's usually something, oh crap, like people are dying or there's some problem here. But it's like but that's how they do it, right? So you have all these digital systems, they all link up to some big database. Although if you, I don't know, I'm not gonna go into too much of a discussion on how the US public health system works because there's a lot of it's a wild mess there, but it's a big deal to at least get it right, if that makes any sense. I guess there are a lot of application videos here, but it's like at the end of the semester. Um,
Having them sort of maybe distributed more evenly throughout and relating them back to the individual topics. And maybe there was some more stuff in individual lectures too. So I might be overstating it, but I know
yeah,
that's just always what I always encourage because I feel like some of the classes were a bit more hit or miss on actual applications.
yeah, that's fair. I do hope. As the class gets more integrative PyHealth, like we can actually show through our work some of the really cool stuff in the course. Like it'd be kind of cool that like the papers that we release become curriculum here. Um, but that's definitely far out into the future. Maybe even after
That's
the
a
next semester.
I was
Uh,
gonna say that's pie in the
I
sky
I
and probably not this semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta leave due to the time.
Yeah, no
Mm,
worries.
yeah.
Yeah, happy
Let's
happy
try to meet
holidays.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, happy
happy
holidays.
Good to
holidays.
Bye.
talk
Yeah.
to you both.
Yeah,
Talk to
take
you
care
later.
everyone. Yep. Bye.